Good afternoon to one and all. This is Kranth Patnaik and we are actually having classes on Photoshop. So when I speak about Photoshop, guys, introduction to Photoshop has been very interesting for us because we were been learning what is exactly the Photoshop and what are the uses of the Photoshop. So in Photoshop anangane first meeku two gurtu ravali. One is creating an image and one is actually editing an image. So creating an image annappudu total ga ఫస్ట్ నుంచి లాస్ట్ వరకు మీరే ఎడిట్ చేసినట్టయితే దాన్ని క్రియేటింగ్ అన్ ఇమేజ్ అవుతుంది. ద నెక్స్ట్ వన్ ఈస్ ఎడిటింగ్ అన్ ఇమేజ్, దట్ ఈస్ మోడిఫైయింగ్ అన్ ఇమేజ్. లేదా ఇప్పుడు ఒక ఇమేజ్ ఉన్నది అంటే దాన్ని తీసుకొని మనం దాన్ని ఏమైనా మోడిఫై చేస్తున్నాం అన్నట్టయితే దెన్ దట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ యాజ్ ఎడిటింగ్ ద ఇమేజ్. సో దీస్ ఆర్ ద టూ ఆప్షన్స్ ఇన్ ఫోటోషాప్ దట్ వీ హ్యావ్ ఆల్ ద టైమ్. సో yesterday we were been learning about the menu bar, Photoshop loni the menu bar ni manam we have been learning. So when I speak about the menu bar, here we can see we have file, we have edit, we have image, we have layer, and then filter, and then view, of course, and then we have windows. So when I speak about all the 7 options in the menu bar, yes, the 8th option is also there, that is help, which actually we no need to learn. But still, let us have a clear cut idea about what is file. As we already know, we have been discussing about the file yesterday, and when I speak about file, the most important things that you should remember is save, save as, and save for web, and obviously how to save an image or how to save the work file, and then we have import and export, and then we have print. Then when I speak about edit, yes, we were been learning about undo, redo and few options, and then we have cut, copy, paste, which I was actually been telling you, and then we have image, where we were been learning about type of color, image size, canvas size, and of course we were been learning about how to rotate the canvas. So these 3 were the options that we were been learning yesterday. So when I speak about layer, we were at the layer, how to new layer and how to delete the layer. Yes, we were at this tab. So now let us take me with the Photoshop. So here is the Photoshop workspace. So I am going to import the yesterday's done work file, that is by pressing Ctrl O. Then Ctrl O kotangane we have the options that we were been doing yesterday. So yes, let us open the Photoshop class. Okay, I haven't saved anything here, so let us see. Okay, we have Photoshop, yes, work file number 1, that is PSD. So now let us open that, and we have the work file that we have been doing yesterday. So here is the work file that we have done yesterday. So this is something that we have created, this is actually called a color portrait, or this can also be said as the 180 color dimensional image, where we'll find 3 textures. One is brown, like a color called as satin brown, and then we have sepia, and then we have absolutely red. So this is called as 180 color dimensional image that we have created yesterday with the great help of Photoshop, and we also have merged all the layers. Manam ఈ layers అన్నిటిని మనం merge చేసేసాం. We had so many layers yesterday which we have merged. So this is the work file that we have been creating yesterday. So now let's not work on this, let's close this. I'll press Ctrl+N. And when I speak about the new here, guys, this is the most important thing that we should learn. I think I already have said you, we have been working on A4. Guys, the Photoshop is basically relayed or dependent upon the sizes of the papers you work on. These shapes decide on how exactly you are good in Photoshop. So when I put default Photoshop, the Photoshop size takes it into the default size, which we have the width as 7 and height as 5, which is very small in fact. The resolution is also very small. So this is the small size. This actually we can use when we are basically doing an editing on a small posture or a pamphlet, లేదా ఏదైనా చిన్న size, I mean ఏదైనా చిన్న size మీద మీరు వర్క్ చేస్తున్నట్టయితే you can take default Photoshop. And probably guys, most of the time మీరు business cards చేయాలంటే we have 2x3 and we have 4x6 options. So we have so many options that you can work on. For example, when somebody comes to you and asks, can you make me a business card? What is a business card? Business card is very small in size, isn't it? So business card is very small. So business card లేదా work card లేదా identity card, ఇలాంటివి I cards. So ఇవన్నీ చేసినప్పుడైతే we can use the basic sizes. Let us see here. We have 2x3, 4x6, 5x7 and 8x10. 8x10 doesn't come under the I card scenarios, but 2x3, 4x6 and 5x7 business cards లేదా identity cards చేసినప్పుడు మనకి ఈ 3 ఉపయోగపడుతున్నాయి. And 8x10 is something where it will be useful for you to print the pamphlets or the small size templates for you to create. And then we have 640 into 480 and then 800 into 600. These are a good resolution work files that you can work. For example, if you are creating a brochure, మీకు చాలాసార్లు చూసే ఉంటారు మనకి న్యూస్ పేపర్స్లోని బ్రౌచర్స్ వస్తూ ఉంటాయి, స్కూల్స్వి లేదా ట్యూషన్స్వి, లేదా ఇఫ్ యూ యువర్ సెల్ఫ్ ఆర్ క్రియేటింగ్ a company, I mean ఇప్పుడు మీరే ఒక కంపెనీ పెట్టినట్టయితే మీరు అందరికీ అడ్వర్టైజ్మెంట్ చేస్తారు. సో వెన్ యూర్ టేకింగ్ ది అడ్వర్టైజ్మెంట్ ఆర్ వెన్ యూర్ డూయింగ్ ది అడ్వర్టైజ్మెంట్, brochure size that will be this size, this will be big size, so that can be into 640, as we have seen here, 640 into 480. And then we have 800 into 600. These are all called the brochure sizes, and then this can be for the poster designings. And the rest of these things are for the posters, very big posters. For example, మీరు రోడ్ మీద వెళ్తూ ఉంటే you have a very big posters, sticked on to the ads sections. మీరు బ్రిడ్జ్ మీద నుంచి వెళ్తూ ఉంటే you'll have a very big posters side to the walls or side to the bridges. సో ఈ పెద్దవి చేసినప్పుడు మనకి పిక్చర్ క్లారిటీ అనేది చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్. when you use DSLR camera or when you use the high end HD resolution cameras, ఇలాంటి వాటి మీద ఎడిటింగ్స్ చేయాలన్నా లేదా రా ఇమేజెస్ మీద వర్క్ చేయాలన్నా మీరు ఈ రిజల్యూషన్స్ పెట్టుకొని యూ కెన్ వర్క్ ఆన్ ఇట్. సో దిస్ ఈస్ ద మోస్ట్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ థింగ్ that you always have to remember. And then obviously we have A4, A3, B4, B5 and B4. These are the international papers that you can work on, because కొన్నిట్లో already make default size ఉంటుంది. For example, if my principal have come to me and said to me to work on A4, then obviously I'll be working on A4 size, isn't it? So this is very useful for you. So let us work on default Photoshop size right now, because nothing matters anyway. So I've been opening a small image here, and let's start working on default Photoshop size. So yes, in the menu we are at the layer, isn't it? So now we have new layer, layer from background, layer set from linked, layer via copy. As I have said you, Control J is to copy the same layer, and then we have layer, Shift Control N. This is to create a new layer. For example, guys, never touch the background. Let the background always be locked. Guys, never ever eppudu kuda ee background ni matram touch cheyakodu. If you touch it, the entire Photoshop or the work file what you are doing will get corrupted. So never ever touch the background, just let it be. Adalage onnivandi. So better put it locked. మీకు ఇది అన్లాక్ చేయాలని అనుకుంటే డబుల్ క్లిక్ ఆన్ ఇట్, లెఫ్ట్ మౌస్తో డబుల్ క్లిక్ చేసినట్టయితే దిస్ విల్ గెట్ అన్లాక్డ్, అండ్ దెన్ ఓకే, నౌ ఇది అన్లాక్ అయిపోయింది, రైట్? సో దిస్ గాట్ అన్లాక్డ్. ఇది ఇప్పుడు ఇది అన్లాక్ అయిపోయింది. ఇఫ్ యూ వాంట్ టు లాక్ ఇట్ అగైన్, యూ సింప్లీ హ్యావ్ అన్ ఆప్షన్ దట్ ఈస్ కీ లాక్ హియర్, జస్ట్ లాక్ ఇట్ ఓవర్. but this is now the layer 0 but not background, isn't it? Eppudu background ni disturb cheyakandi my dear friends. So let it be the background itself. So now let us create a new layer. What is the shortcut for the new layer? Control Shift N. So layer this as color. I have named it as the color. So now we have got the layer 1 as color, and now I will color my background. I will put gray, that is light gray, and give the color to this. So we have the layer. So duplicate layer. If you want to delete the layer, you can also delete it. So we were at the box, menu box, and when I speak about new fill layer, we have solid color and then we have gradient color. So I will take a gradient. I can also pick the color that I want. Okay. And then I will give OK. Okay. So now this is actually a gradient that we have created. You know, if you can see, this is the gradient color that we have created. It is a kind of background that I can say. So this is our background. This gives us a mirror image, the mirror kind of opacity. And then we have so many options. You know, you can, this is called as mask. You can actually delete the layer mask, vector mask. All these are options. You don't need to put that much concentration on this. All that you just have to remember is new and how to duplicate the layer and how to put the gradient into the layer. This is the most important thing that you have to remember. And also you can find the gradient from here as well. You have the gradient colors here. This is the gradient color. So if I want to put any gradient, I have 3 mix of the gradient color, which I also can apply here. I'll show you. Okay. So this is something which I am creating. Okay. So I can also change the gradient. For example, this is the gradient I have opted for, and I can give it here. This is one option you have. Okay. So now let's work on something new, that is select. So we are at the layer. Then when I speak about, we have filter next. Amazing. Filter is my favorite because you have so many things that you can do here. Filter, here we have so many kinds of technical effects. If you can see, extract, liquify, pattern maker, artistic, blur, brush strokes, distort, noise, pixelate, render, sharpen, sketch, stylize, texture, video, and other. And then we have Digimark. So this is the most important thing that you have to remember when I speak about, the filter. So let us see it in the Photoshop here. So we have the background. I'll put the new layer, or I can just delete the layer and I'll work on the background. So no problem here. So now I'll give a very nice output. So I have put red and black as my options, and now I'll go for filter, which is the most important things that you actually have to look at. See, such a nice options we have, you know. I will liquefy this. Okay, liquefy is something where we can do when we have an image. For example, I will import an image. This is the image that we are working on. So what I'll do, I'll little maximize my work file, and then I will cut short the image, and then what I'll do, I will cut the image and paste it here. So I'll work on it. So guys, there will be options where the image size will be more and you don't know what to do. At that particular time, always press Ctrl plus T to transform the things. You know how to transform the things, I'll tell you, don't worry. So the actual image size is this much, and how can you reduce it to the workspace? So now what I'll do, I have pressed Ctrl plus T, you know, this is like this, and I am pressing it again, Ctrl plus T to transform the image, and now I'll press Alt plus Shift. I have pressed Alt plus Shift to transform the image equally from all the sides. See, I am able to transform it equally, isn't it? Enter to put it in the workspace. See how nicely we have transformed it. And then delete the black here. So now this is what the image we are working on, isn't it? Very nice. So now I was actually telling you filter and then liquefy. See, now we have an option, and these are the options that you have to do anything on the image. So now you can actually smudge to reduce the brush size. You can actually decrease it from here. See, the brush size have decreased, isn't it? So it's very small to see. So I'll put this brush here and I'll start editing. So smudge is something which absolutely changes. Smudge is actually used when you are cutting the head and the body separately. Smudge will help you in understanding the liquefied portions. Okay, let's not do this because we are actually spoiling the image. So I am doing it back and back. So this is what is the smudge tool. And then we have twill layer, it is again the same. And then we have point rotator. Can you able to understand this? See, the girl's leg got twirled. You just have to press the left mouse button and put it like that. That's all. And this is auto, and this is punch, which it reduces or it pinches the point. So now this girl have become an alien. Okay, let's not spoil her face. So this is the originality. This is distraught. Oh god, this seems very bad. So let us not do this. These are all the options that you can actually do it. This is to paint whatever you want, and this is to put any color that you want, and this is to magnify. I think you already know the option, and this is to move it. So I think we are clear with it. So now I will put the image as per the canvas. I am transforming it equally so that it will not get pixelite. Don't forget to press enter after the transformation. So here is something we have been working, and I'll save it. I have saved the file now. So we are at the filter, and then now I will switch off this. I'm just switching off the layer. Okay, and now I'll work on the background. I'll go for filter and then artistic, color pencil. This is something which we can edit this. I'll again put it on, and then we'll work on the artistic. Look at the background, we got something. These are all the effects. Filter, artistic, we have dry brush, and then we'll go for blur. This is again when this is active, then we can work on it. The entire image have gone blur, which you actually can't observe. See, the image is absolutely blur, isn't it? I'll put Control Z. So now this is the original image that we are working on. Okay. Now let us see more options. We'll go for texture. This is one of my favorite. If you can see, this is a background that I have created. You can actually stylize this also, by putting some light. It's absolutely your wish. This is very nice, isn't it? I just have created something which is unimaginary. So now we have sketch as also. This is what takes the area as. This is another image. This is just a background that I am creating, just a background. See, this is something which I have cut short in the area. We can also put green here. See, basically you can see everything here, okay, so we don't need to worry that much. This is another background. Brush strokes, and you can go for dark strokes. This is kind of paint that we are working on. So very understandable, isn't it? So now what I'll do, I'll put this layer up, that means above the layer, and then I will show you what we can do today. So now I will just transform it, as we already know. I will transform this to the relevant poster size, I mean the canvas size. And I'll edit so that it will be good. And now I'll add the background, and then what I'll do, this makes you guys more interesting, just see this. I am just reducing the opacity. See, isn't it beautiful? The texture that we have done gives you an editing like a rain or like a poster. Okay, and now I'll work on it. I'll go for brush strokes and dark strokes. So now I'll even make this as a painting. See, I am doing something extremely unimaginable. So this is a kind of painting kind of thing that we have done. So the most important thing that you have to remember every time. So this is a kind of painting postures that you can create with the help of filters here. You know, if want, I can also change it into Crosshatch, which actually gives you the painting output. See, such unimaginable, isn't it? So now I'll increase the opacity a little bit so that, you know, this entire image have absolutely changed into something, and this can be said as a painting. You know, in fact, you can actually name it as yours, or you can just put it at a display, or you can do anything that you want. It's absolutely a fine broadcasting image that you can put it for. So guys, we have more options here, that is texture, video, other, and Digimark. Digimark is nothing but the watermark. You can just put it, you know. This is where you can actually put it, but we just have an option. So there's a small problem here, so we can just do this. See, so this is the output that we have been working out. See, even this, if you can see, even the shoe here is like a painting thing, you know, it's just like somebody have painted, isn't it? But actually the original image is not like that, isn't it? So now I'll save this image for you and show it on how exactly this displays. So file, save as, JPEG. JPEG is always important, and then name your file as paint output. And then I'm saving it. Put it always into the large file. You can choose any of this, or you can also put any matte or here. I don't think so. So just put it baseline standard and then just OK. So now the file is saved. I'll show you where and how the file got saved. So this is the paint output that we have created today using the filter options. See how nice it shows. This is just a painting output that we have created today in the Photoshop with just using filters. Imagine we are just have done this with filters, and imagine if you really put all your heart into the Photoshop and work, how extremely amazing the pictures output are going to come. So this is one of the easiest way that you can create a Photoshop paint output. So andariki ardhamaindi anukuntunnanu because this is the most easiest way to create the output. So now I'll go to the Photoshop file and go back on what I have done. So this is the output that we have been doing, isn't it? Amazing. So guys, this is what we have done to the image, and you know, the image was like this, and we have done so many things for that, you know. So this is one of the best things that we could do today. So guys, this is using filter, and thank you so much for listening to my class. So we have been just doing work on filters today. So I hope you understand and start practicing so that you can you know, you can understand what exactly the Photoshop is. So thank you so much for listening to the class. I am Kranth and I'll be teaching you more classes on Photoshop.